Roo Bus, a weekly podcast about Bonnaroo and other festivals. I'm your host, Sharla.
Hey everybody, it's Daniel. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, we're back in the bus this week. I feel like this thing is like 80% back to normal.
You know, I think it's cleaned out. I don't know if it's cleaned up.
No, there's still some stuff to do.
Needs a good Windexing.
Yes, this table, we need to wash off your pink futon over there. I've got to kind of catalog things that are under the big king bed in the back. They're there. I just kind of need to clean up and make sure what we've got. But yes, I think I want to take this thing camping before the summer's over.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I don't know if we're going to do that before or after Burning Man. You and I, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
All right. We do want to kick things off this week by doing a few of these. So if you're just listening, we have this box that Sharla put out. Do you want to explain this a little bit?
Okay, so I actually got this idea. Well, I mean, it's an old idea. I don't think it's original per se, but I actually got this idea from a Redditor. Someone on the Bonnaroo Reddit made this for their camp, and I thought, why not make it for our camp and read a few of them on the Roo Bus podcast? So I had this both located at our camp, our group camp that we have every year, and I actually put it at the totem booth one day. And it is a Confess Your Sins box. Also got the idea from a Burning Man camp that we did one year, that we went to one year. You actually had to confess a sin before you went in the camp. And after you go in the camp, that's when you get a drink.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
So we're going to do a few of these. I want to kick off the show this week by doing a few of these. So we're going to use a very scientific process here.
A tweezer.
A tweezer.
To get them out.
Yeah, good fish song. All right, here we go.
Oh, it's got something on the front.
All right, here is number one. And if you saw that edit, that's only because the first one was blank. All right, here we go. This one says, I am bi. Hashtag happy pride.
Oh, good for them.
That's a great one. That's a very wholesome one. I love that.
It's not a sin, though.
No, absolutely not.
Not a sin.
No, we want you to be who you are. Well, I am so happy for you. Happy Pride to you. It's July now, but it's Pride whenever you want it to be. Uh-oh.
Oh, I have not seen this.
Oh, this one's good.
I snuck backstage during Paul McCartney one year and walked around thinking it would be awesome, but really I just missed most of one of the greatest.
So they were backstage during Paul McCartney and they missed his show.
It, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I do not forgive you for this sin. That's awful.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Let me get the tweezer out. Let me try this, see if I can get this. I don't know why you won't allow us to just like open.
Because I want to save the box. I've spent a lot of time
working
on
use it
that.
Again?
Yeah.
All right, I got another one. Here we go. I confess I contributed to Poop Mountain in Roo 2023. Hashtag blessed be Poop Mountain.
That's pretty good.
Well, I like that one. I don't think that one is anything to be ashamed about, since a lot of people had that going on. All right.
Oh. Okay, this is no name, so nothing to lose here.
Yeah.
I slept with my friend's ex while I was helping him get over her.
We will never know who that was.
I don't recognize his handwriting.
I'm not going to judge.
No judgment.
Here, I just was able to grab one.
Okay.
I only ripped it a little bit. They put this one in half. Crafting is my weakness.
Yeah.
That's not
a sin.
I mean, that's cool, but
that's not even a confession.
That's not that. Here, you do one more, then we'll get into the rest of the episode. We'll do some more.
Yeah.
No, we'll do some more at the end.
Oh, okay.
We'll book in the podcast with this week. This is fun.
Here.
What if we make the hole bigger? Oops.
No, because then people will be getting them back. People are like, oh no,
I see.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here comes a good one. All right.
Oh.
You want to read this one?
I invited someone who isn't my boyfriend to Roo. I have a boyfriend. Both didn't come.
Oh, that's terrible.
I'm so
the
sorry.
boyfriend and the side boy, I guess, didn't come.
No.
I hope you had it. Well,
yeah.
Well, they kind of left that open to interpretation. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do one more. That wasn't a downer or anything. It's a little bit of a downer. I hope they had a good time. All right, last one for now. I once ruined a man's life over in fairly mildly inconvenienced and had a lot of fun doing it. Good God.
Let me read that one, because you didn't read it right.
You read it.
I once ruined a man's life over a fairly mild inconvenience and had a lot of fun doing it. Hell yeah.
I want to know more of the story.
I want to know that one. I want to know that one. Somebody tell me what that one was. Wait, let me do one so it'll be even.
All right. One more? Well, a pin fell out of it. Okay.
Oh, well, that's not, yeah. All right. I cheated on my abusive boyfriend at a My Chemical Romance concert. Well,
What song? That's my
I mean,
question.
good for you.
That's pretty, okay.
Yeah.
These are pretty good. Charlotte snuck a peek at one or two of them, and we were like, come on, that's not that juicy.
Yeah.
But some of those were pretty juicy.
We'll do some more at the end.
Good work, everyone. Yes, we'll book in the podcast by doing some more of those at the end. I want to go ahead and jump into something else real quick at the top of the episode. So we didn't do much video at Bonnaroo, specifically for the podcast, other than the clips and stuff.
I did a lot of audio.
Yes, and she's been putting that on TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Well, yeah, but I was going to put it on the podcast.
We'll do that eventually. Keep doing the Reels. I like that.
Okay.
That was a good format for that. But one thing I did want to put at the top of the show is a talk that I had literally right here with Justin, the Guess Who guy. I think he set a new record. I forget exactly the number. But we had him on the podcast about a month or two before Roo, and he came in here in the bus during Roo and hung out with us. And he shared some really cool stuff about what he's about to do. He may be doing it
it's
by
so
now.
awesome. Yeah.
So we're going to jump to that, and then me and Sharla will be right back. All right, Justin, I'm so happy to have you here. We had you on the pod about a month ago talking about this whole deal, the Guess Who. I'm so happy to see it in person. Tell us what you got going on this year.
So much. It's crazy the inspiration that this project and like all the people I've met along the way. We're over 500 games played at Six Fest, and I want to carry this board to every festival I can along the way, and in the most unselfish way of spreading the love that's shared at all these music festivals. And I'm gonna carry it 670 miles through Michigan, through Canada, by Niagara, all the way to Elements Music Festival in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, and do it because it's all about humanity, and it's all about sharing and learning more about ourselves and being less afraid to experience and love life and love each other.
So I got a question for you. So I love that you're going to be bringing this festival vibe on your whole road trip. So have you thought ahead about how you're going to have these interactions like you would have at Bonnaroo when you're on the road at a truck stop or restaurant, wherever the heck it may be? How does that play out in your head?
I'm for the first time, I'm gonna branch the board out in my own personal way, and I've recently been inspired by a lot of people who walked for peace or stood up for things that they believed in life in a peaceful way, and throughout history, it feels like the festival way to go about life, and what is now plur, and what was hippie culture, and what was everything that's existed in the sense of loving each other as humans, and I'm gonna fill the board with John Francis, who walked for 27 years and was silent for 17 years and didn't speak a word until he made it back home to talk on Earth Day for the first time about the travesties of oil spills and certain things, and just protecting the sacred planet and each other.
Yeah, I love where your heart is. We talked about this a month or two ago, and I'm still impressed with everything that you're doing here and got planned, man. Well, okay, I want to hear more from you when you're on the road one of these days. So is the trip going to start right after Bonnaroo?
It's as immediately as I hit July, I'm leaving.
Okay, so you got a little time to rest up.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the entirety of July, I'm going to be traveling through Canada and then taking my time patiently through Pennsylvania, because I'm going to be hitting some of the biggest mountains that I've ever rode a bike up in my life, and I'm going to take it very easily.
These legs ready to go on this, dude?
Very much. I've been hitting at least an average of 50 miles every 2 days, and my time's getting very impressive. I'm a little blown away. It's fun. And
that's impressive, man. Okay, so are you going to have a connection? Are you going to have your cell phone with you? Or are you going to go completely out of touch?
I feel very inspired, as I have with this project recently. I disconnect in a way to stay mystical, stay whimsy, say this character that doesn't always exist unless I just randomly appear. Yeah. And I'm going to post weekly at least.
Okay, good. I wanted to keep in touch. Yeah.
At least once I'm going to post weekly. I might post more if say a game pops up or whatnot, because recently, just talking to people, the games come out just at geekathon events that I work at, or local little punk emo shows, and they know nothing about EDM, and it's staying open to, just because they don't or we're not here currently, it doesn't mean Bonnaroo can't exist here still.
Yeah. I love that you're bringing the vibe of this place to everywhere now, dude. Dude, thank you so much for hanging out and for all this. Like, this kind of thing is like what brings people here. And I love when we say, you know, radiate positivity and bring it with you and all this kind of stuff. I think you are leading by example, man. So thank you for everything you're doing. And I can't wait to hear about your adventures. It's so cool.
5 years now, and I feel like it's really clicked in a way that it's understood.
Yeah.
The way that to kindly transmit, you know, the message that I receive.
I think you got it, man. You get this place. Well, dude, have fun. I hope everybody gets to see this weekend. I didn't realize you had all these fun doodads in here to go with it.
Oh, yeah. Everything in here, all these trinkets were...
Show it in here, Charlotte. Look at all those little trinkets in here.
Was gifts from people I've received along the way, other than the Camp Snoopy pin that's from my childhood.
That's pretty cool, dude. Well, dude, happy Roo.
Yes, happy Roo.
Take care of yourself. Thank you for bringing this to everybody. Who you going to go see this weekend? Who are you looking forward to?
Gosh, I think Skrillex is the most exciting for me.
Skrillex is about to be a blast tomorrow night.
Yeah, I can't believe I finally get to see him.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right, thanks, dude.
Well, thank you.
All right, so big thanks to Justin, aka Festy Playlist. He is so flipping amazing. Like when he came in the bus and he brought his Guess Roo game in here and we played it, Brooklyn and him played it. And just
cool.
Talking about what he's getting up to, like I was shook. Like I was like, oh my God, that's just freaking amazing. Like,
he's such a pure soul. And he's got
holy
some
crap,
fun
like,
adventures ahead. I can't wait to check in with him when we get the chance.
I can't wait to see it, you know. And we were talking about like how do you do that kind of stuff without like sharing it and have like trying to be modest about it and things like that. And it's just like, oh my gosh, he's such a kind person. Like,
yeah,
he's the type of Bonnaroovian that everyone should aspire to be.
I agree.
Like, because the stuff that he does, he doesn't do it for the cloud or for
the gram.
Like, he's just such a true, kind person. Like, just an amazing person, hands down.
So good luck on your adventures ahead, Justin. I can't wait to check in with you. All right, Charlotte, let's run through the Patreon list because we haven't in a good minute. I want to make sure that we credit everyone that helped us tremendously with Totem this year. We've got a couple of new ones on there.
Now, is this, you put it in a weird format?
Yeah, I had to export it because like Patreon changed a lot of things up and I don't care for it, but that's neither here nor there. Just run through it right there.
Okay. Is this the free and the paid?
This is everyone, yes.
Okay, so this is the free and the paid.
Who cares?
So if your name gets read off and it's not usually on there, that's why. Okay, because Patreon is being funky. The Winters, that's Devin and Andrea.
Hey, y'all.
Danny, Lauren, John, Akash, Britt, Ryan, Courtney, David, Jordan, Alyssa, Imani, Bradley, Jared, Olivia, Claire, John, Lexi, Danny, Lisa, Butter Crew, Nick, Delaney, John, Brady, Casey with Texas Roo Crew, Christy, Jums, David and Aurora, String Bean, Sack and Jeremy, Amber, JB, Sam, Austin, James, Hygiene Queen, Chris and Shy, Dan, Ernst, Harris, Keith, Casey, Perry, Nick, Maddie, Bruce, Andrew, Kent, Randy, Papa Josh, Bosco, Eric and Ben, Evan, Chloe, and Sean.
Thank you, everyone. I know that's a couple of names that may be in the past or people that signed up for free, but I don't care because I think it was time that we gave credit where it was due because if your name was in there, you have contributed to what we did with Totem this year, and we did a lot. I mentioned this on our Patreon-only episode that we recorded a couple of days ago. I had a call with this year's scholars and a handful of last year's because they didn't get the whole experience last year. And me and Charlotte was crying in the club with pride with everything that they've accomplished and plan to accomplish. So I want to make sure you guys know that what you helped us out with has made a big dent in the trajectory of some young people that found Bonnaroo to be a big deal for them. It matters.
And also I want to give a big shout out to those who donate through Give Butter as well, including Clinton and Amy.
Yes, thank you guys. All right. I do want to get into some mischief and gossip this week, but let's do two more before we get into that because this is a lot of fun.
It is. I told you.
I love this. Let's do two good ones. If we get a dud, we'll do it over.
Okay.
All right, here you go. You're
Wait.
gonna have to use the fish tweezer. There we go. All right, there we go. What do you got? Read it.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh. What does it say? What does it say?
I watch a lot of lesbian porn.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. Happy Pride. All right.
It's like, that's not bad.
All right, here we go. All right, I got one. I just grabbed it. I have farted next to an annoying kid. Oh, crop dusting. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that confession.
Okay.
All right, we'll get to some more at the end.
What if YouTube mutes us now that I said? I should have said corn.
Corn?
That's what you have to say on TikTok.
Oh,
corn.
well, I could like do a little edit trick. Okay. No, I would have done that already. No, good call.
Corn.
Good call. I did want to do a check-in.
Uh-huh.
Now that we're a couple of weeks, like 2-3 weeks away from Roo, you and I had a trip that we went on. We got out of town, got out of our head and everything. I want to retrospectively look at what we feel about this Bonnaroo. I think when we recorded that recap when we first got back, it was a lot of like immediate thoughts. And now we have had some time for things to really sink in. And I want to see what you thought now that we've had some space between it and now.
So I'm feeling a little bit better as far as depression.
Okay,
I don't know
good.
if that's where you were going.
Well, I wasn't going to call it out, but I was curious. Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit better now that we did our Patreon only episode because I was able to talk about some of the issues that happened, you know, for some of my friends, for some of my group this year. I was able to talk about that, but you mentioned that the audio messed up on that.
Yes, Patreons. We're going to do a redo. Actually, we're going to just do it in this same recording file. So we're going to edit. So you will see the same thing in your Patreon inbox pretty much the same time. So you did sound like a Charlie Brown teacher.
I
Something
think what
funky
happened is
with
I
your
think
mic.
my hair got muffled in the microphone.
Oh, that's okay. Well, let's talk about this. Like you're feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little bit better. I still think there was just a lot of feeling because I was doing so much. I think I overextended myself a little bit. And I just didn't get to hang out with as many people, you know. So I think it was just that, you know. I think with the lack of a Tuesday and which, as you know, we talked about it in our Patreon episode, but Tuesday's not coming back. Unfortunately, unless there's a sellout, Tuesday's likely not coming back.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I guess we can go ahead and talk about this because
Yeah.
our Patreon's got access to it first.
It's not
I don't mean to
coming back,
gatekeep information. I'll tell
Nope.
everybody. Sometimes we just like to give our Patreon some tea first since they passed Totem some money. My understanding is that if Roo kept the same attendance numbers or just a little bit more than what we had this year, then no, there's not a need for a Tuesday. The main benefit to a Tuesday to Bonnaroo backstage is they can load people in over time. So say we do get a sellout, which, you know, they're not going to turn money away if it gets, you know, on up there in terms of sales. That would be somewhere in the ballpark of like 70,000. I forget the exact number, but it's somewhere around there. It's never going to come back to like the 80 or 90 that it used to be 10 years ago. But if it got within that ballpark, I do think that they would seriously consider bringing Tuesday back just in order to load people in because they got into some relative hot water before COVID with the lines of people coming in.
Yeah.
Local officials were not happy. So that was a big incentive for them to have Tuesday. So people would come in Tuesday and Wednesday and they wouldn't have like all the local roads and the interstate clogged up. So I wouldn't say from my perspective and the conversations that I have had with Bonnaroo that it is impossible that Tuesday will never come back. It's just, we'll see how next year goes.
So, you know how some festivals charge for early entry?
Yeah.
Would you ever do that?
I don't know. I feel like I've considered this a time or two. It depends on how much and if there would be any perks associated with it. This is something I'll talk with you guys about because I don't think it's any hidden information.
I mean, I don't think they're going to do that, but I'm just...
Yeah. Bonnaroo comes together logistically, like literally at the 11th hour. Like 11 p.m. literally. No, I'm making that up. I'm joking around.
No, it really is.
But like, it's funny because like we get to come in early sometimes if we've got a lot of totem stuff or if there's an event going on or something like that. We get there before anybody else does. I'll be transparent. We did this year. We came in Tuesday to go ahead and set up
The totem stuff.
our totem booth. You know, as staff, as part
the
of
nonprofits.
Yeah, we're able to do that. And both this year and in years past, when we came in before doors officially opened, it felt like a lot wasn't really complete. I was walking to the totem booth just like a half hour or so before the gates officially opened to Cinderoo on the first day, and there was still stuff under construction.
I know on Wednesday they were still setting stuff up at the Snake and Jake's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I walked by, I was seeing like a lot of construction guys and volunteers and stuff, like literally assembling stuff that would be there for the weekend. So I don't know that they should charge extra for an experience that isn't complete. And I know that when we talk about this, we're talking about like the customer experience versus like what they need to do and how difficult things are for them in the back of the house. And this is something that I have thought a lot about in the past couple of weeks. I'm wondering what that balance is. Let's say, for example, that tent being in the back of the what field. I think for them in the back of house, that makes a lot of sense. There's a road back there. They can do load in and out really easily. But for the front of house, for people who have paid money to be there, I don't know if it balances out that much. And that's taking the mud this year out of the equation, because in future years, that may not be a deal. I think the sound was muffled at that tent. I think the back and forth nature of two things in that field wasn't something that worked out. We already talked about this, but what I'm trying to say is like, I hope that there's a balance between like what is effective for them backstage and what works for attendees that pay good money to be there. And the Tuesday thing is something where that balance makes it, something that you have to negotiate.
Okay, so I'm going to say this in the most polite way, and you. All right, so let me back up. Their number one line, period, is to sell. It's to make money.
Well, yeah,
obviously, but I personally think there needs to be a balance between keeping their stakeholders, and when I say stakeholders, I mean the invested customers, like us, the people that's been going for 10 plus years, the people that are on the Discord 365 days a year, on the Roo Bus Discord.
Yeah.
The people that, are running these community groups.
Reddit, Loophole, all these different places.
All these places.
I don't want to make us the center of it.
No, the Shaynas, the people that are running the literal camp groups, the hardcore customers. They need to find a way to also keep their stakeholders engaged.
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of little things with these stakeholders. And I don't want to say I call these people, I don't want to call those types of fans, I don't want to call them fans or customers. I'm calling them stakeholders intentionally, because that's what we would refer to these people in a marketing sense. They need to find a way to keep their stakeholders engaged. And when so many little things get dropped, it adds up.
Yeah, I agree.
It adds up and it adds up and it adds up, and it makes people like me personally not want to come back to Bonnaroo. It's infuriating. If you listen to the podcast, and I don't know where the audio cut out, but if you listen to the Patreon, then you'll know what I'm talking about.
We'll do a follow up to that. We'll record this in this same thing. So Patrons, you'll find that in your inbox, and we don't want to hold information private. We'll talk about this over the course of the next couple of months. I do want to be a counterpoint. It's not that I disagree with you. I just think that when we talk about these kind of things, when it comes to the future of Bonnaroo, we have to be a bit of a yin and yang situation.
I agree.
So because we have had the opportunity and privilege to see how the meat gets made backstage over the past like 5 or so years, I'm understanding of how stretched thin some people are. I think that there are too few people doing too much. And I think, unfortunately, that's just the position that they're in sometimes. We've talked about this. I don't think it's any big secret that Bonnaroo had a smaller budget this year than it has had in many, many years. I don't want to get too deep into that because we don't know all the specifics, and I don't want to speculate on stuff that we don't necessarily fully know about. But we do know it was lesser of a budget. It's very possible that could have equated to their staff. I talked about this before, and I do think that they're spread too thin. I keep thinking of that.
I think everyone can agree on that.
I keep thinking of that line in Lord of the Rings where Bilbo said that he felt like butter stretched across too much bread, because that's kind of what it feels like.
Yes.
I don't fault anybody. It's not anybody's fault. Nobody means for things to be forgotten or dropped, but it's just going to happen to literally anybody when you're spread too thin. Like you only have so much bandwidth. What I'm saying is not faulting anybody at all. In fact, I appreciate what they're doing, very much so. I appreciate that they're running themselves ragged. I wish they didn't have to. I wish that there was more staff on site to ensure that these things kept running well. And I think that's something that they have to take a look at. I think I do want to qualify that this year was a success. I still hold to that. This year was a big success. Like
I would absolutely agree.
I joked that this year was fighting the final boss, and that's really true, because I don't think the Bonnaroo of the past 5 years would have been equipped to have faced the challenges that they did this year with the power outage and then the rain and the mud and everything.
I agree 1,000%.
So that was step one. That was the most important thing. Even if they were stretched thin this year, if they did it because they needed to make sure that everything kept running when the lights went out or when the rains came, great. That's fantastic. Next year, they can take the next step to filling in some of those gaps, you know? And whether that means a bigger budget for them to hire more people or whatever that may be, I don't know. That's honestly above my head. I can just work with the information that I have. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. We know more than most, but not everything, you know? So that a lot of that sounds like a critique. I'm choosing to be optimistic and positive. Not saying that you're not.
I'm way too negative.
But I choose to, believe that they are capable of all these things. I just think they need more people to do it. Or the people that are doing it currently need their own staff.
Now, we did clarify this on the Patreon only podcast, but to clarify it on a public podcast, Daniel and I do purchase our own GA tickets.
Mm-hmm. We do get staff and we got media this year, but those are to fulfill purposes. We feel very important to buy our own tickets because, like, I want to be able to say the things like we just said and be able to hold Bonnaroo at a bit of an arm's length. I don't want, some elevated experience. I want to be like in the trenches with everybody else in Outeroo.
Right. We camp in Outeroo and we purchase our own GA tickets.
Yeah.
And that's intentional.
Yes. Because I don't want to have been given like a completely free ride and feel like I'm inhibited from being like, well, this is good, but what if you did this? Things like that. And one example is, I'm not a fan of where that tent went. I think they should move it back, but that's just one vote. If I'm outvoted by the rest of the festival community at Bonnaroo, so be it. That's what everybody wants.
And I hate to bring this point up.
Yeah.
But Daniel and I both have degrees in communications. I hate to say it, but I feel like I have to qualify with things like that because otherwise, because I'm a woman, because I'm a female, I'll get mansplained and told that I don't know what I'm talking about. And that's happened before.
Okay. I understand, babe.
Daniel and I both have degrees in communications, and I also have a degree in journalism.
I will say, too, most of the people in my life happen to be women, so I see this kind of thing happen a lot. And guys,
it happened literally
we can do better.
A few days ago.
Yeah, we can do better, guys. All right. I want to end this topic on a positive note. So let's go back and talk about things that we decided that we really like now that we've been given a couple of weeks of space, right?
Yeah.
I want to say one thing that I don't think a lot of people noticed. There were never any long lines. Of course, that was because we had a smaller attendance this year, but that also happened in 22. There wasn't that many people, and the line was backed up all the way to the House of Yes. I don't think I ever noticed any big lines at all this year. There's a bug. Don't worry about him. You look like you have a point, though.
No, I saw a long line.
Where?
Y'all know where I saw a long line?
Tell me, because I don't know.
The women's Centeroo bathroom.
Well, you can speak to that, not me.
And every time that I would come out, because, I'm straight up just going in the damn exit at this point. And every time I would come out, I would tell everybody in the line, hey, don't wait in this line. There's multiple stalls open. There's plenty of stalls open. There's stalls open. And by like the 5th time of me doing this, I promise y'all, there was these like Gen Alpha or whatever we're on now. They just stared at me. They just stared off into space. And I'm like, y'all are on some kind of new drugs that I don't even know what these drugs are on.
Nah, man.
They were just staring at me. And I'm just like, yo, don't wait in this line.
This is the first thing that made me realize I was old enough for there to be a generational gap. It happened right after COVID when everybody started getting back into things. It's like the younger generation now does that, what do they call it, the Gen Z stare or something like that. You go to a McDonald's or Taco Bell and you're picking up your order or whatever, and like you have a question and they're just like this. They're just like.
Now, the COVID stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is.
The COVID generation, the generation that went through high school in COVID, finished their senior year in COVID, and started college in COVID and all that generation that is not able to talk to people, I think that generation is dying out, and I think our scholars prove that.
Yes. That's something that really gave me a big boost and a lot of optimism when I had a call with him the other night, just checking in and kind of wanted to hear what they had learned.
Because, oh my God.
You know, I don't think it's out of place for me to talk about this. One thing that I got from them is that they lament the lack of third spaces. I think that's something that was always available to our age group. Like, you know, you go to a bar where you know everybody, or you go, I mean, there's a lot of different places where that's available. That's not really something that is a thing for like the 18 to 25 crowd right now. It's something that's almost completely foreign to them. And I loved hearing from them that Camp Group or Bonnaroo as a whole is kind of that third space for them now. And like, once that hit me, I was like, whoa, okay. That's something that Totem and Bonnaroo can provide. And I'm so happy that it did and will, you know. It's easy to point out these weird things about the younger generation that drive us wild, but that's exactly why we do Totem, so we can help support these kind of things. Because the generation that you just talked about, I think about this a lot, especially when it comes to Totem and your job. There's a small slice of that generation that would have graduated high school in 2020. So like they didn't have a senior trip. They didn't have a graduation. They didn't have like a true freshman experience at the university the following year. They probably weren't able to do anything that much during that summer and the following year too. And that's something that everybody that age should have, you know, and it's a bummer that they didn't. And I feel like that's something that they can't necessarily get back, that kind of like made that experience way different than any of us could ever understand.
Yeah, I cannot even imagine that.
And if what we can do at camp through Totem at Bonnaroo helps like fill that gap, then oh God, thank you. I'm so happy that we're able to do that. And that was like, man, when I realized that we might have done that this year and last year, like I was like, oh man, we are providing a good value and service here. But anyways, anything else positive about Roo that you want to point out?
Positive?
Yes.
I mean, I've already said it, but the way they handled the mud, I mean, I saw
praise Dale.
Very few complaints. I mean, obviously there's going to be complaints, but the way they handled the rain and the mud, who could complain?
Yeah.
Like
that was the main thing that they had to get right this year, and they did it.
They nailed it.
A lot of these other things that we're talking about, let's be honest, we're just being a little nitpicky because like we love the place so much.
Well, yeah.
We call it out because we care. But I realize that these are things that they're going to have to gradually do over the coming years. There's more that they have to gradually do with like the grounds. You know, we called it out that like there probably could be a little bit more drainage work done in Outeroo.
Yes.
I think the things that we talked about in terms of bringing in more staff so that things don't get dropped is something that will be worked on in the next couple of years. I don't want to speak for anybody, but I feel that like them proving that they could make this happen this year might give them a little bit more of a budget in the coming years. Hopefully. I hope so. I sure hope so. I'm not in the finance discussions, but I sure hope that's going to be the case. But yeah, I do want to top this off by saying that this Bonnaroo, like far and away, was a success. Yes, we can look at things where we're like, well, we wish they did this or this could be better. But those are small things in comparison to making it happen in light of the challenges that they had. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. So let's put a pin on that.
So you want to go over like the polls that I did?
Yes, I do. Now explain what you did here.
So I did a poll on Reddit, not Reddit, on Instagram, on our Instagram, on the Roo Bus Instagram. And a lot of people replied. I mean, we had hundreds, if not thousands of replies on these. And I was surprised at some of the answers on these. And
well, let's hear them.
I did you can only have one. And I did several different, versions of these. So let me go back. So you can only have one: Calliope Tuesday, Full Thursday, or Comedy and Cinema Tent. Overwhelmingly, almost 50% of people picked Full Thursday.
I would agree. I think the attempt at having it all on the what stage this year was, in theory, not a bad idea. In practice, it wasn't as cool as we all might have thought it was going to be.
Because I think a lot of people, well, I know I expected more of a welcoming ceremony and all that stuff. And then, Skrillex happened and all that. But a lot of people, almost 50% of people picked Full Thursday.
Can I say something real quick before you move on to the next one?
Yeah.
I think there might have been an over-reliance on Skrillex to have picked that up. I think at first there was this idea that they were going to do like some fun, goofy stuff in between sets. But then when they realized they got Skrillex, they're like, oh, let's let him do whatever. And Skrillex was fun.
Oh, he was, yeah.
But I don't feel that he did that. I don't feel like what he did, did the stuff that they would have, if that makes any sense. I would have still rather have had those goofy opening ceremony type things in between shows. Maybe the vibe would have been different if the power didn't go out, but we'll never know what it would have been. But in any case, I agree. I'd like to go back to the traditional Thursday. Next one.
Next one, you can only have one. Perfect weather, cheaper tickets, 0 schedule conflicts, no lines all week. 62% of people picked perfect weather.
I almost feel like you shouldn't have put that as an option. You should have known everybody would have picked that.
Well, clearly.
Yeah. All right, next one. But second there was cheaper tickets, I noticed.
Yeah, second was cheaper tickets, but that was 16%.
Well, yeah. All right, keep going.
Okay, now here's a good one. You can only have one. Legacy headliner, bigger headliner, more jam, more EDM. Almost 50% of people picked a legacy headliner.
I'm a little surprised by that.
And that was hundreds and hundreds of replies there.
Now, here's the thing that I would ask. Who would be considered a legacy headliner at this point?
See, that's always debatable because legacy, do we think like 70s or do we think like Y2K or 2010s even at this point? Is that a legacy?
I almost say you could consider, the Strokes a legacy headliner at this point because like the first big album for them was 20 years ago and we had the Foo Fighters not that long ago. You could certainly consider them to be a legacy headliner. I think the last true legacy headliner that we had, that we would have considered years ago would have been Stevie Nicks.
Well,
unless there's somebody I'm not thinking of.
The second choice was more jam at 21%, which
I
would agree with. Yeah.
But far and away, it was legacy headliner, and that's interesting to see. What else?
You can only have one brand or sponsor at Bonnaroo. So Cracker Barrel, which we had before, Sonic, Taco Bell, or Jersey Mike's. 41% picked Taco Bell.
It just makes so much sense.
It does. And second was Cracker Barrel at 23%.
I got a hot take. I agree with Taco Bell, but you know what I would really like to see is a brand activation at Bonnaroo? Common John's. To have like a whole miniature Common John's because they got great food too.
Well, they were in the Bonnaroo.
Yeah, but it was just like one booth out of a bunch
I see what
of
you're
them.
saying.
You see what I'm saying? Like a whole Common John's booth. I think it would be cool if they had like one for Jiffy Burger, one for Common John's, so like the local Manchester places.
Yeah, hear me out. A Manchester tourism, or Ryan French does Experience Tennessee. Have that as an activation, and
I agree.
Yeah, Manchester tourism. I'm very surprised there's no like tourism board, doing an activation or something like that. I guess because it's so expensive, but still like.
I feel like that's something that should be given a sweetheart deal to give back to the local community.
Some tourism boards are nonprofits, so I'm surprised there's no tourism in the nonprofits or something. I don't know. Anyways. Oh, something that I've been meaning to tell you.
Me?
Yes. So there was a big post about the sponsorships and the brands on Reddit, and someone had the best point. And when you hear this, you're going to be like, oh my God, yes, because of your job. Someone said that all the sponsorships and the brands treat Bonnaroo like it's a trade show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Those are the activations that I think make no sense whatsoever for Bonnaroo. I'm like, why are you even here? There's been some in the past. Look, I'll call them out. An insurance company or a car manufacturer really has no business being at Bonnaroo. I don't see in what world that makes any sense. But then there's some like Ben and Jerry's. Like, okay, Ben and Jerry are hippies that make ice cream. That makes sense. I love that, But then I don't know. I'm not going to say that I feel like I'm insulted, but I'm just like, what are we doing here? You know?
Mhm.
Anyways, I'll go into a whole
Yeah.
corporatism talk if you get me going on that. Keep going.
But when I heard trade show, I was like, oh, I got to.
Oh, you're very right. Yeah.
You can only have one. Who stage? Where in the Woods with the stage? Snake and Jake's Christmas Club or Infinity Stage? 54% said Where in the Woods with the stage.
Oh boy. This one's tricky because it's not that they don't want to do it. It's just that it's logistically very difficult to do it.
So, second was tie 20% was Who Stage and Snake and Jake's Christmas Club.
Yeah. I do hope they bring the Who stage back. I hope they heard that people do want that. I think there was an effort to bring those same sort of vibes out to the group plaza with a couple of different things. That wasn't any of our crew. It was some other people doing that. One of those things that, yet again, was a great idea in theory, but didn't necessarily work out that great in practice. I'll just say that and then move on.
Where in the Woods back in, when did it start with the stage? Like 2019 or something?
5 or 6 years.
Something
I can't
like
remember.
that. Yeah. It was originally like very small artists. And I think that if they brought it back to that, it would be really, really cool.
I agree. There's a similar concept down at Okeechobee.
Mhm.
And it was actually one of my favorite features
Really?
down there in the 2 years that I went. There's this like kind of grove of palm trees, and they have like these more housey EDM artists
Mhm.
that haven't really been, discovered or whatever, play that. And you never have more than like a couple of hundred people there, but just like
Yeah.
the lasers through the palm trees and stuff was such a good vibe. And I feel like that whole thing, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of the place down in Okeechobee, but I feel like that kind of vibe would be great for Where in the Woods. I think it wasn't the best idea to throw somebody like Alice in Wonderland or even Cherub in there and having an overcapacity crowd. I
Yeah.
think that was just asking for disaster.
You can only have one, a bandana. Camping included with your ticket. Better ticket swag or no line driving in.
Oh.
So 50% said camping included with your ticket.
Let me give some more constructive feedback. I think the purchasing process for having to buy both your ticket and your camping is a little confusing for some people. I think even if it increased the wholesale price for the whole thing, to just have it combined where you don't have to worry about that would be a lot better. Even if it means like going through a 2-step process when you buy the one thing. It's like, okay, you got your GA or GA plus ticket. Next step, before you can complete the checkout, where do you want to camp? And maybe it's a technical reason that they can't do that, but I think expecting the customer to go through multiple hoops, I think is too much, too much for them to do.
It's incredibly confusing for first timers.
Yeah.
For people that have never been to Bonnaroo before.
Yeah. All right, continue. Is there more?
No, that was it.
That was the last one. These are pretty good. We should do some more of those. Let's do some more ahead of next week's episode.
Okay. And Bonnaroo is aware of the polls that we do.
Yes, they are.
They're very aware.
We'll leave it at that. All right. Before we do a couple more of these and we get out of here, I do want to put an asterisk on all of this. It might sound that like, oh, Daniel and Charles being a little hard on Bonnaroo. Yeah, we've been going to this thing for like between 10 and 15 years now.
Since 2013.
We love it dearly. Look at this thing. Look at what we've done with Totem. We're invested. We talk about this stuff because we love it. I am taking it very seriously to try to make sure that I am in the trenches with everybody else. Yes, we have a bus with air conditioning, and that's nice. But I will never not camp an outer. I will never camp backstage because I want to have the same experience so I can see the things that everybody's seeing. And that informs my opinions about like, hey, this was great. This might need some work. And that's all I want to say. It's not like we're trying to be overly critical. It's that we love this thing and we want it to do great. And I want to be able to provide perspectives that you can't necessarily see if you're either backstage or working on the thing. Even though we do work on some things these days, if that makes any sense. It's very complex. You want to add to that asterisk? Or you want to pick some more of these?
I do want to add.
Okay.
I apologize if I'm coming off a bit negative, but I'm going to say these are just my own experiences. And overall, Bonnaroo was fantastic this year.
Oh, this is
I
the
had
best one in years.
Amazing time this year.
There was just a lot about the vibe. Sometimes there's a good Bonnaroo that just has a vibe, and you can't plan or buy that.
I had such a good time.
Yeah. All right. We're going to end the episode by getting a couple of these. This tweezer method is a little weird. All right, here we go. I got one.
All
You
Oh,
pick
that's
one.
a long one.
Yeah, you pick one out while I'm getting that.
Okay.
All right. Oh boy. When we put our picnic basket down on the ground, it did get wet from the puddle, but it also got wet because I peed.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's a good one.
I accidentally got two.
Oh, that's okay. Well, just hand me the other one.
Okay.
Don't look at it.
All right.
Okay.
Forgive
Oh.
me. What was that?
It was bad. I don't want to read it. Just trust me. Just trust me.
All
Keep
right.
going.
Forgive me, for I have sinned. I have calculated how many sticks it takes to become a tree.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You get that.
All right.
All right. Here we go. This is a theme. I crop dusted multiple people at Skrillex at the what stage?
What?
I mean, look, everybody probably has. It's okay. Nobody's judging. What is this?
Oh my gosh.
Let's
I
hear
don't know
it.
if I can read this one.
No, just read it. It doesn't have names.
Well,
You want me to
should I
read it?
that? Yeah, you read it.
I'm at Roo, but I am also in the military for the foreseeable future. I am so on Bud Light this weekend. Their name's not attached. We'll never know. Look, I'm not going to say it. But here, I'm going to hold it up. Maybe you can.
Wait, I want to do one more.
No, we're going to do like 2 or 3 more. I love this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is fun.
Oh, here's a long one.
Okay. Oh, that's
Oh,
juicy.
this is sad,
It's-
but it's like, okay, it's definitely, okay.
That's juicy.
It's a good one. All right. It's not good, but it's sad. All right. I cheated on the love of my life. She knows because I told her, but the guilt always will eat me alive. Love you. Oh,
Did this happen at Bonnaroo?
I was wondering that.
All right, here. All right, here we go. Get you one.
All right.
We're going to do like 2 or 3 more. I unloaded my ass in the porta potty before they were flushing.
oh my God.
I mean, look,
I mean,
it just happens, man. Nothing to be ashamed of. All right, so it is actually a day later. We thought we had lost that whole recording. We actually had 95%. I think the only thing that you didn't see that we kept recording was like 1 or 2 more of those confess your sins things.
yeah, so the battery on the phone actually went dead.
I don't know what happened, but whatever. The file existed and we're still working with it. You didn't get the memo. I wore the same thing I wore yesterday, but I don't think you are.
You didn't tell me that.
Well, I watched
You didn't
this
tell
and
me
wore it again.
we were going to pretend
We
that it
could've
was the same. Oh,
We could have pretended that we were still on the same file.
you didn't tell me that. Well,
Yeah.
it's also nighttime now.
Yeah.
And it was daytime yesterday.
We did it at like 3 in the afternoon yesterday. Now it's
Oh,
like
well.
8.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways. All right. So we are going to end the show here in just a second, but Patreons, we're going to keep recording and you will see a thing in your inbox with kind of like part 2 of this where we wanted to follow up on some of these things because that file messed up. We're supposed to be professional around here. I heard that you sounded like a Charlie Brown teacher on a part or 2 on there.
I didn't listen to it, so I don't know what part.
Oh, I
Step
heard it.
on it.
Yeah. I had to kind of do some editing.
I'm still pretty sure my hair got caught in the mic.
I think that's exactly what happened. All right. That was a lot this week. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Hey, seriously, I did talk about this on the file that I thought we had. I wanted to thank everybody for all your support of everything with Totem this past year and everything that we try to do. This was a hugely successful year for us in terms of the Totem booth. I don't know if you realized it, but this was the first time that we had a Totem booth run an entire festival because both times previous to this, it got rained out.
You know, it's an older saying, but it's true. The third time really is the charm.
It really was this
because
time.
South Star, it rained out. The first time at Bonnaroo, it rained out. The first time we had an official booth at Bonnaroo,
Yeah.
it rained out. And then this is the first time it ran
Yeah.
all the way through.
So thank you to everyone who volunteered at the booth. We really appreciate you guys. I had a call with some of the Totem scholars the other night, and man, I can tell you, it makes a big difference in the lives of some people, man. Like, it was pretty emotional.
We are truly, truly, truly thankful for everyone who has donated to Totem, helped out with Totem, volunteered with Totem. You know, if you have touched Totem in any way, we cannot thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And the scholars cannot thank you enough.
And as always, if you want to learn more, it is at totemfnd.org. And if you want to pitch into what we're doing with that, you can find us at patreon.com/Roo Bus. So that's it for this week. Patrons, check your inbox. We're going to keep recording just for you guys. Until next week, hopefully we'll have Brooklyn here to give her recap. We'll go through some more things in the Confess Your Sins box. Get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you soon.
Bye.